the fam, that's what they call me. I promise that you'll never be lonely. Be the fam, that's what
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Whether you are new or returning, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time to stop and come hang out with me. It means so much. So if you are watching this, that means that you wanted to watch my recovery rants, and I love that. I love that so much. I feel like it is a very important topic, and it's very important to share like what a recovering addict goes through, our thoughts on life and the shit we have to deal with. It's not always easy. We're all gonna have different perspectives. We're gonna go through different things. Depression is a major thing that I know I've been going through. I know other recovering addicts, they're kind of going through their own depression. It's not easy sometimes, but it's freaking worth it. I'm just really happy that you decided to click on this. This is a very important topic, and whether you're the recovery or recoverer. No. Either way, you're part of it. So I looked up the definition of rant, and it means speak or shout at length in a wild, impassioned way. I kind of like that because whenever I start talking about like my recovery and certain things that have to do with the way that I feel, and things that people say and my response to that, I probably do scream or shout at length in a wild, impassioned way for sure. That was a verb, and then the noun is a spell of ranting or a tirade. It says his rants against organized religion because I have my own, perspective about organized religion. Ranting would probably be a very good word to describe somebody trying to talk about organized religion, whether they are for or against it, whatever the perspective is. And it's just like recovery. We will also look up the definition of recovery, and recovery is a noun, a return to normal state of health, mind, or strength. I never looked up the definition of recovery, honestly. I really like that. Okay. And then there's different types. There's what is the definition of recovery in mental health? From the perspective of the individual with mental illness, recovery means gaining and retaining hope, understanding of one's abilities and disabilities, engagement in an active life, personal autonomy, social identity, meaning and purpose in life, and positive sense of self. I want to specifically look up recovery from addiction definition. If we define recovery as a return to a normal state of health, mind, or strength, then definition of recovery from addiction would be a return to a state of health or mind without using substances or behaviors that we misused. And it says, what does it mean to be in recovery? When someone says they are in recovery, they usually mean they are receiving treatment for their drug or alcohol addiction. Recovery covers a lot of territory. Many people use recovery as synonymous with in remission. It also says, sorry, I should have been more organized, but I just go, from with how I feel at the moment sometimes. This is from recoveryconnection.com. A new definition of recovery from addiction. I'll link this as well. The definition is simple. Recovery is a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness, live a self-directed life, and strive to reach their full potential. Such a definition is designed to encompass all phases of an addict's life. According to the working group that helped create this new definition, there are 4 areas that support a life in recovery. There's health, managing one's disease and living in a healthy life emotionally, physically, and financially. There's home, and that's creating a safe and secure place to live. Purpose, participate in daily activities that provide a sense of purpose, volunteer, school, job, family, caretaking, participate in society. And then there's community, and that's relationships and social networking that give support, love, friendship, and hope. Learning to live one day at a time with purpose, a sense of community, home health are not generally accomplished in isolation. While not all addicts in recovery participate in 12-step programs, those that do often find this sense of community strong. The worst thing a recovering addict can do is to isolate. When the addict is cut off from those who work to stay sober and clean on a daily basis, the value tool of perspective is stopped. What an addict thinks may or may not be accurate. The feedback provided by others is important as the ability to observe another individual struggling with life issues. In the long term, it is worth more the effort. So yeah, I really wanted to give a sort of definition, and it can mean different things to everybody. Everybody's different. Like for me, I don't go to like 12-step meetings, but I am involved in a drug and alcohol group, and I go to that every Tuesday. I love my group. I don't know what I would do without my group, honestly. So I enrolled myself after I got out of the hospital. My addiction led to overdose, led to homelessness, prisons. My mental health is really messed up, and I almost lost my life. I had to have a heart surgery. Yeah, I was put into an induced coma. It was just really bad. I did a video on my story, but I want to do one. I will either link it to this playlist, or I will actually just do a whole new video by itself with like a timeline or something, just talking about different experiences. It's something that I'm thinking about doing. As the days go on in my recovery, right now I'm 11 months sober. So I'm really close to my 1 year, and I'm really excited, but it's very hard to deal with a lot of things still. There's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of mental health stuff I'm still getting through, there's a lot of things going on with my kids and just with myself, trying to patch up, family relationships. There's a lot of different things, and sometimes I like to just talk about whatever's on my mind at the time. I think that this will be a good outlet for me and maybe other people who are in recovery to see that they're not alone in whatever they're dealing with. Everybody's reasoning for getting sober is different. I actually talked about that in my group today. Whatever the reasoning is for getting sober, it doesn't mean that just because somebody enrolled themselves, they have more of a chance of making it out of their addiction successfully more than somebody who is doing it because it is court ordered. It was that or jail or prison. They don't have more likely of a chance to succeed than the other person. It truly depends on the work you put in, and the fact of the matter is you started. Sometimes you may not even you're just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna do it so that I don't have to go to rehab or to jail or prison. And then they won't share or they won't really do anything, but then they'll hear something that hits close to home and they're like, and it may not seem like it, but it's starting to get in there, man. I know for me, I went to 3 rehabs and each one taught me different things. And although I relapsed, I still remembered and I took in the information. Even in my active addiction, I remembered certain things and it helped me in certain situations, to recognize certain things about myself. Some things I just wasn't ready to take care of at that moment. I wasn't emotionally ready. I may not have been ready to where I didn't fully understand something. I didn't have the means to not be homeless. Whatever it is, everything takes time, specifically for each individual in their situation. The fact of the matter is we have to be ready on our own. And when we are, or even if we are pushed into it a little bit, don't underestimate that person just because of that fact. We do not know what somebody else is going through. Like when people tell me certain things like, you're almost a year sober, Heather, like, you're fine. You should be fine. Like, why? I don't understand why you're having triggers. And it's like, whoa, just because I've had this much time under me doesn't mean that I'm not having a hard time because I haven't relapsed. It's because I'm fighting every damn day for my sobriety, because I know that although this is hard, what I was doing before this is way freaking harder. I did not go through all of this for nothing. I will not waste not only my time, but everybody else's time that has helped me through this, or my kids' time anymore. If we are going to be losing any more time away from each other, it is because I am busting my ass to get better. Period. But don't underestimate the fact that some days are going to be damn harder than others. One day I might wake up, I'm fully rested, like, damn, I slept good. And I get through the day fine. I don't have meltdowns. I don't have as many triggers. I feel like that day was cake. And then the next day, I could barely get up in the morning. I had night terrors that night, all night. So I'm sleep deprived. Whatever was going on with me while I was sleeping affected me during the day. I happened to get triggered. My depression is starting to hit. If you have mental health issues, that stuff ties into it. Not every day is going to be the same. Your routine could be exactly the same. Your schedule for work could be exactly the same. The people around you can be the same. But life happens. Things happen. You meet new people, or people are feeling different ways. You have to deal with other people's emotions and whatever they're going through with what you're going through. You just have to remember, everybody's going through it, whether you're a recovering addict or not. We all have stuff that we're going through. We all have stuff that we're dealing with emotionally. And that's it. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember, you do not want to use. You're busting your ass. Don't ruin that for a temporary feeling. That's only, in the long run, going to make things worse. And then you have to start your sobriety count all over again. Like, I don't want to do that. I'm on like 340 something days now. Like, I'm really proud of that fact. So, just like how I'm ranting for the beginning of this video and this playlist, this is the kind of things that we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to focus things on one topic. I really hope that I get a lot of people who interact with this playlist for sure. As much as I love beauty stuff, I am all about my recovery stuff. It's very inspiring to hear other people's stories about survival and making it out of something like addiction of any sort. But no matter what your addiction is, it's just as important as the other person's addiction. The place that I'm going through, I am starting one-on-ones all over again and continuing to do my group stuff. And I have a psychiatrist that I talk to once a month, and that's really helpful for me. Yes, I have help with Suboxone. Some people do methadone. Some people do the Vivitrol shot. Some people do it cold turkey, and they're just doing it on their own. And no matter what you're doing great. Eventually, I will be off of Suboxone. Right now, probably not, because I have some really hard stuff I'm going to have to deal with, and I am at risk. For my specific situation, it is better for me to be on Suboxone, and I will do a video on that, and my thoughts. I am always up to getting feedback from people, even if they're against Suboxone. Your opinion is your opinion. It's okay. Just don't attack people who are on it for the right reasons. So, with that being said, I hope that you all enjoy these videos and share, your stories, whether you are in recovery or a family member or a friend of somebody who is in recovery. You deal with stuff too. Your story is just as important. So yeah, just stay tuned and press the bell notification if you subscribe. That way it lets you know anytime I upload a future video, and I love having you all here. Thank you so much, and I will see you later. Bye.
Promise that you'll never be lonely. Be a fan, that's what they call me.